Hi everyone, this is Kyle with kayDbait. I'm going to be making a video on creativity today. I have no notes. I am being spontaneous. Um, the different ways of being creative, there are an infinite number of ways. Pretty much anything you do can be a form of creativity. And, well, people can argue that, a splash of paint on a canvas that doesn't look like anything and you didn't actually put any effort into isn't creative. Um, it kind of is. I mean, there's so many different levels of it that, I mean, the smallest, most insignificant thing can be creative. Um, say some of the most famous paintings in the world. Leonardo da Vinci's pictures. Then there's the Baroque period of weird stuff, and then there's just Picasso was just completely. It was you know kind of just it didn't look anything like a guitar, but it's creative, it's new, it's different, it's odd, it's eye-catching, it's interesting, it's entertaining, it's whatever. I mean, you can be creative in the most mundane things. I mean, look at here. I'll give you an example. Part of a dum-dum stick. I chewed on it and then I put it in my pocket, and it looks like a straw, doesn't it? Doesn't it look kind of like a straw? And I have my water thing right here. So I mean, this was in my pocket, so it's not clean, but there. I feel like it looks like a straw, doesn't it? Look how creative I was with junk. Was I creative? Yes. Was it interesting? Probably not. But that's why I'm saying there's levels. Um, a lot of people say modern art is there's a meme going, or it's not a meme, but it's a picture of like the giant scribbly painting that's like hundreds of millions of dollars, and all it is like it looks like somebody threw paint at a canvas for an hour and none of the colors or anything, and it's like modern art is, yeah, I could have done that, but you didn't. And there was a person that sold a blank canvas. He bought a canvas and sold it as art for, I think it was $5,000. I mean, the canvas is like 25 bucks, but he put it in an art show, a modern art show, and somebody bought it for $5,000. It's like the pet rock phenomenon. It's a rock with googly eyes and a tail. Like 10 cents of materials, and he was selling them for $1. It wasn't even 10 cents worth of materials. It's like 2 cents, not even a penny. And he was selling them for $1, and he made $1,000,000. And then his second million was him selling birth certificates for the pet rocks. Creative, yes. Some people consider it like the ultimate consumerist idea of, you're stealing money from stupid people. But really, a good idea, I mean, things are only worth what people give them the worth to. I mean, food is worth more to somebody that doesn't have food than somebody that just ate a big meal. I mean, a cup of water. How much would you spend for a cup of water? Was it nothing? Comes out of your tap. Penny? 2 pennies? I mean, is it filtered water? I mean, just tap water. How much would you spend on it? It's like, okay. Now, you haven't had water in 3 days. You are dying. Literally, dying of not having water. How much would you spend on that cup of water? Probably a lot. So, well, that's not creative. It's the idea of, that's not worth that much money. Why did they sell that for $2,000,000? It's like, well, somebody thought it was worth that much money. So to them, it is worth that much money. And, people that spend $2,000,000 on a painting, and they value that painting a lot, who cares how much they spent it for? People just don't like other people getting ahead for seemingly nothing. I mean, it's like if I painted a picture and sold it for $10,000,000, all of my friends who are artists are going to be like, we're going to kill you. I spent 14 hours making this. and I sold it for $2. Like, you spent 2 seconds making that and sold it for 2 million. And I was like, well, yeah, I got lucky. It's nothing about anything else. I mean, it happens. You have to be at the right place at the right time, which you can do. You can put yourself there. But then it's also about, if you can explain something really well, it's like, I'm making a video. Hi. If you can explain something in a way that makes people value it more, like you have this picture of like a bird on a fence, and you're at an art show, fancy art show, and people are like, well, that's just a bird on a fence, and then you explain it to them. No, it's a metaphor. It represents the destruction of nature in today's society and how animals cannot live in this society. Just whatever. Just, it doesn't matter if you mean it or not. It matters if you. And I'm not saying this to be mean, but if you can make them believe it, it's more valuable to them now, and they might just buy it. Getting art is more like, it's all in here. It doesn't matter what it actually represents. So creativity is all in your head. I mean, this is creative. It's not. I mean, because I admit that it's not. I just shoot up a dum-dum thing and put it in my pocket and got all dried out, and I pulled it out of my pocket to throw it away, and I didn't throw it away yet, so it's gross. But if I was explaining this as something and I got somebody to believe that it was actually something, then I have created something creative, which is bogus but kind of awesome. It's all in your head. Everything is in your head. And it's kind of sad, it's kind of awesome, and creativity is a very interesting thing. Some people are not very creative. Some people are very mundane, and they are incapable of radical thinking. But that doesn't mean that they can't do it on accident or they can't work really hard. It's like The Raven. The poem, The Raven, considered one of the most famous poems ever written. It's not the most famous poem ever written, but from what I have gleaned from conversations with people that have studied this, apparently it's based off of a formula. It isn't creative at all. He actually pretty much is like, Raven is the only word that works in that poem. I mean, not in the Raven. Nevermore. Nevermore is the only word that works in that poem. Like, there's 2 other ones maybe. So the Raven actually, if he follows that formula, can't say anything else. So it doesn't actually mean anything. And he didn't actually mean it to mean anything, but people think it means something, like death, because ravens mean death. And so it was really weird, but people associated it with creativity, and I guess it is. I mean, making a beautiful mathematical formula that people will think is creative. Spitting on the ground can be creative. Drinking a lot of beer and burping the alphabet, it's kind of creative. I mean, it's not original. Maybe if you've never heard it before, it'd be original to you. But anyway, I'm making this video actually because I've been talking to a lot of artists lately. I actually watched somebody draw a really funny picture. Actually, it was a picture based off of Oregon Trail, the game where you get dysentery and bitten by snakes and broken arms and legs, and then you die. And it's a game, and it was considered completely ridiculous. And somebody was drawing a picture, and I was watching him draw it live, and it's Pokemon on the Oregon Trail. And it's not just Pokemon, it's his characters and other people's characters that they made based off of Pokemon, which is also creative. And then he put them in funny situations, like one of them being bitten by a snake. It was also a Pokemon. And it's creative. And that's it. I mean, creativity is whatever you can come up with. I mean, even, I don't know, there's too many things that I could say about that. So if you think you're not creative, you probably are creative. You just need to find something that you can appreciate. I mean, it doesn't matter if other people appreciate it. I mean, obviously, to some extent it does inside of you, but, I mean, first of all, you're going to be your own worst, critic. So.
But I don't know anything about.
Okay, so.
About drains. I don't know anything about that.
Anyway, it's time to end this video before people start getting uppity. So, peace. And yes, that did completely throw off my train of thought. Bye-bye.